So my name's Erica, this is Charlie and Matilda, and this is our proposed anti-fouling strategy. So every year, 90% of the world's trade occurs by sea, and every ship that transports these goods experiences some degree of biofouling. Biofouling is the growth of unwanted marine organisms on sea structures, such as oil platforms, ships, and scientific equipment. It is important for industries to have effective methods of removing this biofouling, as if left untreated, it can have negative economic and environmental impacts. It may cause additional costs due to the replacement of equipment, excess maintenance, interruptions to operation, and an increased fuel economy for ships due to frictional drag. It may also impact biosecurity, as organisms may attach to moving vessels and be introduced to new areas. There are several existing methods to combat biofouling, including mechanical removal, acoustic methods, electrical methods, and the use of specialized coatings. Each of these existing strategies has negative side effects. Mechanical methods incur costs resulting from regular interruptions to operations and cannot be applied to all subsea structures. Specialized coatings such as biocides, as well as acoustic methods, have the potential to kill marine organisms, and by themselves, electrical methods and specialized coatings can be ineffective against some organisms. Our proposal is to combine multiple strategies to maximize the effectiveness and minimize negative consequences of anti-fouling. As with all strategies, our proposal will incur costs related to the product and its application, as well as ongoing maintenance.
The first of our proposed methods is the use of ultraviolet light. The Australian Government Defence Science and Technology Group conducted a study which proved that when emitted at low voltage, UV light can prevent biofouling. Their experiment is shown on this slide. The right side images are areas protected by UV lights, while the left images show an area that is unprotected. The photos were taken after 7, 9, 11, and 19 weeks of the experiment, showing a notable difference in the amount of biofouling present. UV light is able to protect small crevices and delicate instruments with minimal side effects. The UV would only affect microorganisms that live within the reach of the light, due to how localized the lights are. The UV lights are most effective against organisms that rely on cellular division, which are the primary colonizers of biofouling. However, like other methods, the use of UV light does come with its own drawbacks. The biggest of these is its inability to be used on a large scale. The UV lights need a constant supply of energy, as well as regular maintenance. However, if it was combined with other methods, it can be used on small, delicate areas, while the partnered method can cover the rest of the area. Before this can be achieved, more research needs to be done to confirm the reliability and accuracy of the technology, as well as finding the ideal LED configuration and strength.
Our second strategy is to apply a special coating by means of vacuum sealing. This special coating will replicate natural anti-fouling methods used by sharks. However, other marine organisms such as mussels and crabs also use anti-fouling methods. Shark skin appears to work the best, as it has previously been studied, and researchers found that sharks use their unique texture of skin to protect against biofouling. The skin of a lemon shark is shown on the slide under a microscope, and you can see the minuscule overlapping ridged scales. This material is also flexible as well as durable due to this unique texture. These properties make it ideal for wrapping around marine structures to protect against biofouling. A 2016 research article published in The Company of Biologists tested the ability for static synthetic shark skin to deter biofouling in the Pear River, China. The results are shown on the slide. Photograph A is a synthetic shark skin after remaining underwater for 7 days. Photograph B shows the skin after 21 days. Photograph C shows the skin after 70 days. And photograph D shows the skin after being cleaned. After 7 days, the amount of microscopic algae on the shark skin is almost unnoticeable. But after 70 days, each scale is almost completely coated in the algae, particularly in the ridges. This experiment would need to be repeated to prove the effectiveness of the shark skin over an extended period of time to demonstrate how long it takes for secondary colonizers to settle. This would also show how the buildup of algae and microscopic organisms would affect the hydrodynamics of the structure. Our proposed strategy is to coat the area of the marine structure with a synthetic shark skin through the method of vacuum sealing. This means the structure will be wrapped in a flexible and durable sheet of synthetic shark skin and sealed at the edges with a strong adhesive substance or by a mechanical method. The air and water within this coating would be suctioned out, creating as close to a vacuum as possible. You can see on the screen an experiment we conducted that explored the ability of a vacuum seal bag designed for linen and other soft household items to conform to the ridged texture of Lego. Our results to this experiment are shown on the slide. As you can see, the bag was unable to seal neatly into the corners of the structure, but it did conform to the ridged Lego texture as well as wrapping tightly around the smooth surface of the ship's hull. This demonstrated the potential for the use of a vacuum sealing method in the application of synthetic shark skin. We have the experiment set up here for you to see today, and we'll just plug in the vacuum to create the vacuum, and we can show you in live how it works.
Alright.
So just to let you know that we can only see your share screen. We can't see your camera at the moment. So if you're showing us,
Alright.
unshare and then
The camera. There we go.
Start video. Yay. Okay.
yes, we can see you again.
Hey.
Okay, so this
That
is
way?
the vacuum seal bag with a Lego ship inside it to be vacuum sealed.
This might be quite loud.
Yes, it is a vacuum.
So as you can see here, the flat parts of the Lego, the bag wraps around that very nicely and it's very smooth. Although like with the curved bits here, that way, the curved bits, there are these little bubbles, but of course you need to make the bag so that it fits around the specific ship so that that doesn't happen. And we were really surprised that it also fits around the actual Lego texture quite well as well. There are of course some bubbles, but it's quite good. Yeah. Oh, now we have to go back.
There
Share screen,
Application.
application window, PowerPoint,
Share.
share.
There we go.
Hey,
Okay.
we did it. All right.
Next one.
Whoop.
Our proposed strategy of using a vacuum sealed shark skin wrap has many positives, as it will be easier to apply than paint, as it could be applied underwater, and it can be reused as once the seal is broken, it can be removed and resealed. The wrap can also be released for the purpose of mechanical cleaning, which will make it more efficient than trying to clean it while still attached, as this can minimize the intricate spaces that are needing to be accessed. Additionally, paint requires reapplication every 12 months, which requires the vessel to be dry docked, which reduces the amount of time it can spend on operations and making money. With the proposed strategy, mechanical removal or reapplication can be performed on the shark skin wrap whilst the vessel is still underwater, reducing costs associated with dry docking the vessel as well as reapplying paint. This method can also decrease the fuel economy of the ship due to the hydrodynamic properties of shark skin.
Our proposal of a combination of UV light and a shark skin wrap addresses two important considerations: the environmental and economic impacts. Unlike other methods, this combination would cause minimal side effects towards the environment, as UV light is extremely localized and synthetic shark skin will not harm the ecosystem. The longevity of the wrap, the relative ease of maintenance, application, and the reapplication process also make it more economically viable than other current alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, girls. Round of applause from the stage. Questions from the judges? Kendra.
So UV light, you know how it functions at 254 nanometers. It actually forms thymine dimers in bacteria, and therefore they don't grow. That's okay. Have you actually taken a surface which has a biofilm and and subjected it to UV light to see if anything dies?
We haven't been able to do that experiment yet because we don't have the required materials at school, but we're looking to do it in the future.
Also, shark skin, you see the plated structure, like it's kind of a groove. Yeah, you showed that. The way the sharks clean themselves is when they're swimming, these structures move back and forth. So it's kind of scratching myself.
Yeah.
And removing dirt. So that is one of the major application. If you have a stationary structure like this, and the ship goes for hundreds of days, biofilm might be more formed in the crevices of those two plates. So, well, that you mentioned it, more work needs to be done. So that's fair. But that is one of the future work you could think of. Just dip something and let your next. What grade are you?
Year 9. We have done some research that does say that shark skin is especially effective when the shark is moving because it allows the water to flow over the skin and create that drag that takes off the organisms.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Did you girls ever submit a written presentation?
Yes, we did.
You did.
Yep.
Okay, let me because we're going to now confer, so it'll be nice to use that as reference. But while we're hunting that up, I had a question about the vacuum seal.
Yep.
Yes, actually, a number of questions about the vacuum sealing. So, is the idea here that you would vacuum seal like a whole ship or a whole structure?
The idea is that we would vacuum seal the parts of the structure that would be in contact with water.
Okay. And from your end, do you see what are the main risks in this method in your mind?
The risks would be like the seal being scratched or broken and then the whole thing falling off because vacuum. But I think the rewards outweigh the risks in this scenario.
Okay. Any other questions? Kylie's just asked, why does it need to be vacuum sealed?
This would
What's the benefit? Yeah.
for for us to confirm that the entire area would be covered and that it would be effective throughout the entire time that it is applied.
I also think it would be a lot easier to vacuum seal because you can do it underwater and suck out the water as well than to dry dock a ship, and it would be more economically viable.